Hello everyone, welcome back to the Boudoir. I am your host Ieasha Jones, and today I have absolutely no idea what we're going to be talking about, and I mean that wholeheartedly because I really had no plans for this week. I don't know what I want to talk about, so I guess we're just going to see what comes out, what's been on my mind. This is like my own little weekly therapy session, so like sometimes I don't have all the answers every week, and sometimes I need to just let my thoughts out, okay? Sometimes I just need to like yap. I have no plan, no nothing, so let's just see. So I guess we'll start with listening to yourself and feeling your feelings, right? You always hear this phrase, feel your feelings, feel your feelings. And sometimes we get to a point where we want to feel feelings that aren't necessarily positive, and then we shame ourselves for feeling not positive. I've been thinking about lately, like I'm somebody who considers myself spiritual. I love manifestation. I love all of that type of stuff. But what do you do when your reality does not match whatever you're trying to manifest? And you're genuinely not feeling happy, or you're genuinely not feeling, you know, your highest self, and yes, kumbaya. What do you do when you're not feeling that? I know you're supposed to just tell yourself a bunch of positive affirmations and, you know, and magically everything will be okay. But sometimes you really do need to feel those feelings. And I feel like some of that manifestation stuff and like the affirmation thing is like gaslighting yourself. Sometimes it is okay to take a day, 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 30 hours, whatever you need to like feel that feeling. Sometimes you do need to wallow. We're always trying to not feel bad. We're always trying to feel good. And I think that that does more harm than good sometimes, because if you never feel any of the bad, yucky feelings, what do you do when something really happens and triggers it, and now you don't know how to process that? Everything feels like the end of the world because you never allow yourself to just feel. So that's something I've been thinking about. Of course, positivity all the way. Like, I am more of a positive person. I don't like to sit and wallow. Like, I'll give myself that time. This actually just happened to me not too long ago. Like, I was feeling really upset. I was not having a good day, and I just cried and I sat in bed and I let myself be a baby, and I just watched Family Guy for like 7 hours straight, and I tuned out the world. Because you can do that, and you need to do that, because you know why? That is a way better coping mechanism than going out and treating all of the customer service workers like trash. It's better than blowing up on people. It's better than physically fighting somebody. Sometimes you really do just need to feel sorry for yourself and feel pity. So do that. We're humans. Like, we're not always gonna feel good all of the time, and some of that, like, oh, just change your perspective, change your mindset. Of course, for the long term, you definitely have to like reconfigure your brain, because if you're always going to the worst case scenario, right? Like, of course your life is going to reflect that. If you're always looking at the worst of things, if you're always looking on the negative side, the dark side, and you never see like any sort of positive in the situation, your reality is going to reflect that. If you're only noticing the bad things that happen to you, you're going to attract more of those bad things, right? Like, of course, that's how it works. Like attracts like. Nobody's saying to sit here, be a miserable person all day, be negative, be a complainer, like, ew, no, never that. But what I am saying is listen to yourself. If you need a day to just tune everybody else out and just feel sorry for yourself, you have to do that. Like, you can't skip over steps. Like, you can't skip over how you're actually feeling, because you might gaslight yourself and lie and be like, no, I'm fine, positive, but it's still in your body. It's still in your stomach. It's still in your heart. It's still in your nervous system, and it's just gonna stay there, and maybe it's gonna lie dormant, but the next time something happens to you, just wait. You're gonna blow up like you've never blown up before. You're gonna have a full-fledged Class A crash out, all because you didn't take 15 minutes to just cry it out, when it all could have been nipped in the bud right there, you know? And feeling bad feelings is extremely uncomfortable sometimes. Like, nobody wants to feel sad, depressed, upset, but it happens. It's a part of life. These feelings exist because we're humans, and like, it's a part of life. You're not always gonna be happy. You're not always gonna be like ready to go. Like, sometimes you really do need to feel sorry for yourself. It starts with like identifying how you feel. Today I feel depressed. Today I feel like I need to bed rot. Today something happened to me that triggered a memory from the past, so I need to feel this feeling. So then you identify it, right? And then you gotta feel it. Kickbox it out, you gotta cry it out, journal it out, listen to emo music it out. Like, you have to do it. Avoiding it is only going to make it worse. The more you avoid something, the bigger it grows, and the worse it's gonna be in the long run. And remember when we were talking about like moral OCD a couple weeks back? Was that a couple weeks? I think it was only 2 weeks. But we were talking about like evangelicalism and like feeling like everything has to be tip-top shape. You can never deviate from whatever standards that were set for you, and if you do, you're a terrible person and it's all gonna come down crashing and burning. Yeah. Same thing kind of goes for spirituality. There's this thing I've noticed where like it does feel a little like gaslighty. Like, no, you're not allowed to feel negative feelings. No, you're gonna ruin everything. You're gonna ruin all your manifestations. Like, I don't think that's the case. I think that We are human beings, we are spiritual beings, but we are still humans. We are fallible, we are capable of not always feeling 100%, and we should honor that. Like, I think going against the human nature of what we're supposed to feel is detrimental. Like, no, it's okay to be sad. It's okay to be angry, especially anger. Like, us women, this is another thing I've talked about. I'm just like self-promoting myself today, you know? We've talked about women's anger and how it's so demonized to like show any sort of annoyance or irritability at something. We're just always supposed to be perfect. We're never supposed to complain about anything. That is crap to me. No. Being angry is an opportunity to check in with yourself, and you should definitely honor that. Don't hold yourself to this nice girl, oh, I never do anything, I never step out of line. Don't hold yourself to that standard. Don't put yourself in that box, because the day you do crash out, everybody's gonna be like, whoa, her? I didn't know. Like, yes, we're humans. We can all get to that level of crash outery. Like, it's a normal human reaction, and the less we stop demonizing these emotions, the more we can actually start being honest with ourselves. Because every time I crash out and get mad, or every time I have a sob session, I always feel 10 times better and like I'm ready to move on to the next step. Because like I said before, I'm not somebody who likes to sit in that wallow. Like, I'm not gonna sit here for weeks and like just dwell on the same ish over and over and over and over again. Like, nah, that's not my style. I like to feel it and then come up with a game plan, because I'm very action oriented. However, you still need that moment. And depending on whatever happened, you might need more time than like a day or like a half an hour or something. Take all of the time you need, but you do have to feel it. There's no two ways about it. You can't not feel your feelings. So like, don't let it become like an OCD thing. Like, I know for me sometimes, like, I would feel maybe something that was less than positive and I'd be like, no, I have to change that thought. I have to course correct. Like, no, feel it. It's okay. Like, it came in your head for a reason. Thought, the feeling, it came in your body for a reason. Like, it's good to analyze those things and ask why you feel that way, instead of trying to cover it up and hide it with just fake positivity affirmations. Like, that doesn't always work. Should your baseline be negativity and complaining? Absolutely not. But not that you need my permission, but you have my full permission to feel however you feel. Especially as we go into seasonal depression season, like, everything's just gonna feel all dark and gloomy, and it's just gonna feel so, for some people, not the best. So that is especially the time to check in with yourself. Feeling a little bit of sadness is not going to throw you off your course. Like, it's fine. What I do want to talk about next is the way we're all just getting so flippin' mean, rude, ignorant, no home training, no nothing, no thinking before speaking, like, just a bunch of ignorosity, and I don't like that. This is another topic we've talked about before on the Boudoir. I don't like this like mean girl behavior that I'm seeing online, and I say mean girl gender neutral because I see everybody, every type, every shape, every gender behaving like this, and I don't like the way like bigotry is becoming normalized, and I will do everything in my power to stop it. And I don't care if I'm, oh, you're too woke, you're too this. Yeah, I don't get a beep. I don't care, because some of the things I'm seeing in some of the comments and some of the talking points are actually not normal. We're regressing so badly, and I don't like it. And you know, it is what it is. I think it's only going to get worse, sadly, because of the administration we're about to be under. Everybody's about to start assimilating. Everybody's about to start, you know, losing their integrity, losing their morals, to go to whatever safe side, whatever privileged side they think they have. And I think it's quite pathetic, honestly. Like, if you can't stand in your own beliefs, or if your beliefs are rooted in the hatred of others, I think you're the most corny, lame, sorry excuse for a person ever. Quite frankly, the normalization of fat phobia, which has always been normal. All of these things I'm about to mention are already normalized, but it's just people are now becoming more emboldened with it. The fat phobia, the racism, hearing that words are slurs and they're like, I don't care, I'm gonna keep saying it. Like, I don't like how people are wearing their ignorance like a badge of honor. And I don't know why it bothers me so much, but it really does. Especially when people throw rocks and try to hold their hands. Like, what? It's just my opinion. I'm just being honest. I'm just being real. Like, that whole epidemic of like, I'm just keeping it real. No, you're just keeping it very bitchy. That's what you're actually doing. You're just keeping it very, very mean-spirited. And that needs to be called out, because I don't understand why people get validation from being flat out bitches online, and it's getting weird. I've also noticed that we are very susceptible to propaganda, and this I do want to make a whole episode that's actually like research, because this goes deep. And I fear that a lot of us don't understand how susceptible we actually are to propaganda. Like, all of us, no matter how Ivy League educated, no matter how many degrees you have, we are all susceptible to propaganda. And that's what I've been seeing a lot of on social media. Media has such an influence on our life, and that's why I always hated when people would be like, oh, communications, like that's the easy major. Literally, communication makes this whole world go around. Like, without communication, without your phone, without this camera, without this app, what the hell would we be doing? Staring at each other? And due to this propaganda, people have just become so comfortable standing in their ignorance, and I don't understand what that's about. Like, why would you want to walk around being ignorant? Some people will really boast about that. They'll be like, I don't have any thoughts. I'm just here. And yes, it's like very tongue-in-cheek, but also some of you are not joking. Some of you are not joking. Some of you truly don't think of anything outside of yourself. Some of you don't actually engage with things. Not you. I love you guys. Some people just actually don't engage with the world critically, and that scares me and concerns me. Like, they just take whatever is given to them that's served on a silver platter and they just gobble it all up. Happy Thanksgiving. What is going on? What's going on? I just don't like the fact that we are all too entirely trusting of everything we see. And I'm not saying to get on like a tinfoil hat kick, but you should have some discernment for yourself whenever you're engaging with things. And like, back to the bigotry, all of this thin is in, the red pill, the looks maxing, like all of this stuff is so weird to me. When I hear other people talking about it or engaging with that type of stuff, I always feel like I'm the crazy one, or like I'm the one that's just like not cool enough to understand. But no, I'm just like, all of that is a very slippery slope into YT supremacy. And I've been seeing so much of that lately, especially on TikTok. It like bothers me. And it's not just like white people doing it. It's like people that look like me doing it. People that are like marginalized doing it. And that's why I'm like especially confused. Like, it's just been like such an uptick of bigotry, of fat phobia, of all of the isms, the obia, all of it. And I don't like that. I will never keep my mouth shut. I will continue to call it out. I don't care if people think, oh, you're doing too much. It's not that deep. Y'all are gonna not that deep yourselves into a very dangerous situation. And I fear that we're already getting close to that, because everybody's not, it's not that deep, it's not that deep. And then when we're in full-fledged fascism, probably in like the next few months, everybody's gonna be looking around at each other all stupid, like, oh, I wonder how we got here. Because it's not that deep, right? I'm not even gonna go into specifics of like what things I'm referencing, because it doesn't even matter. All I'm going to say is, like, when you're engaging with things, please engage critically. If you have to like get your self-worth through putting others down, you don't have the self-worth. You don't have it. Okay? If your self-worth is contingent on making others feel like shit, you didn't have it to begin with. Okay? I'm just so sick and tired of the way people are being so reckless with their platforms, getting online spewing a whole bunch of BS that doesn't help anybody. At the end of the day, there's no sort of like action plans, there's nothing. It's just, let's just be bigoted. You know, the last topic I want to talk about is we need to stop thinking so much about ourselves. We need to stop placing so much value in our looks. We need to stop. I didn't realize how many people actually think about themselves, not even just normally, but like just thinking about how they look, thinking about their bodies, thinking about their faces, thinking about the next surgery. Like, I didn't know that. And it's like actually very sad that people spend so much time like picking themselves apart like that. People are saying all I think about is being skinny. Like, that's weird. And everybody's like hee hee ha ha. Oh my god, that's so funny. No, that's actually very concerning. I don't even know what to say. Like, people don't focus on what matters, and like they be so worried about their looks and everything, but the character be trash. The morals are non-existent. Like, how do you have time to think about your appearance, but you can't stand on anything besides the next TikTok trend, besides the next beauty trend, besides the next diet fad? We need to start prioritizing things outside of our looks, okay? Because beauty fades, looks fade, and even if yours don't, you are worth so much more than the lipstick you have. You're worth so much more than your dress size. So I find it really mind-boggling when people will put all of their worth in like something so stupid and arbitrary, like, you know, I'm this size, I can go here, I can shop there. Like, okay, and what about you as a person? What do you have to offer? Like, is that it? How much money you can spend, where you can go, where you can travel, or do you have anything else, any other substance? Please, I'm begging. And I know I'm all over the place in this episode, but I'm just kind of like throwing all of the things that I've been thinking about. Like, the lack of empathy people are getting is scary. The way people just will leave the most insane comments on a public comment section on a public social media app with their whole face, first, last name. It's like, you people have no like foresight. You people have no spatial awareness. Like, I don't know. I'm not even gonna go into specifics into what I saw, but it's just like actually giving me a headache. There's just like no regard for other people's feelings, and I actually don't like that at all. Like, so I say all of this to say, rise of fascism, with the rise of YT supremacy, with, you know, people feeling more emboldened to say inside thoughts outside and aloud. Think before you speak. We have 2 ears. Listen twice as much as you speak, you know? And think about the implications of the things you say. I know nobody wants to spend more than like 0.5 seconds thinking about what they want to say, but like just even a little, even like a half a minute more of critical thought being put into something will do wonders and will save so much discourse. Like, sometimes you just have to look at a video and be like, do I actually need to post this? Do I actually need to send this tweet out into the ether? Like, is it really necessary, or can I just keep my mouth shut? Or can I just buy a really cute journal from TJ Maxx and put all my thoughts in there? Or can I maybe just talk my pet's ear off or something? Or just put it in the group chat? I don't know. Even when people say stuff like that, like, oh, leave your inside thoughts for the, like, why do you have those thoughts to begin with, is my question. But hey, everybody's not, whatever. Leave it offline. Because some of these comments I'm seeing, some of these like talking points, it's getting very bizarre. So yeah, that's all I really have to say this week. I know this was kind of like just a thrown together episode. I told you I'd had nothing to talk about, but I hope you found it entertaining regardless. And yeah, help me with some episode ideas. Everybody has those days, guys. Sorry. Health be mental in sometimes. So all in all, I want to say to take care of yourself. Take care of yourself. Listen to yourself. Listen to your feelings. Listen to how you feel and actually appreciate that and honor that. Watch what you say online. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and make sure you download today's episode and rate me 5 stars if you're listening on Apple and Spotify. And I will talk to you guys next week. Bye.